Welcome back to another Ross Reviews, everyone. Today we are checking out this 500 rear wheel horsepower FPV F6. These cars are insanely quick and I can't wait to share this one with you guys today. What is up, guys? You join us today in the 2009 FPV F6. This is build number 789, and God, these things are just so good. This one has been built up to 500 rear wheel horsepower, and man, does this thing just sound good. This car is obviously not stock, so some of the supporting mods on here. It's got a 4-inch Ultrex stainless steel exhaust system with some high flow cats. It's also got 1000cc injectors. The fuel pump has been upgraded. It's got a turbo side air intake fitted, and it has had a tune. Now this thing is also running 16 PSI boosts and sounds bloody awesome. You gotta love that turbo flutter, you really do. Far out, this thing is, it is quite linear. Like, the power comes on pretty quickly in this and feels so nice. You know, you've got the 6-speed manual here, and FPV gearboxes, they're just so good. Really short throws, got a really nice feel to it, you know exactly where you are. One of the best gearboxes in the game, especially from a stock car. Now from factory, these cars would have made about 416 horsepower, about 417 pound-foot of torque, and these things are just stupid fast. You know, 0 to 100 from factory was about 4.9 seconds. They've got an inline-6 turbocharged Barra engine. The thing is absolutely crazy. You know, this thing can easily be built up to well over 1,000 horsepower. Quarter mile times, you're looking at high 12s from factory. You know, and again, put a little bit of money into it, you're gonna easily crack 10s. And far out, for a large 4-door sedan, that is just epic. These things are just bullets. And the fact that it's such a big car, easily fit 5 adults in this, it really does blow your mind sometimes. These cars are just ridiculous how fun they are, and so easy to drive as well. With a car, you know, you got over 500 rear wheel horsepower in this thing, and it just drives like a standard car. You know, the clutch pedal is just really easy to use, it's light. The throttle response is just so easy to get it in and out of gear. Steering feels really nice as well. You know, the driving position in this thing is just so comfortable. Perfect view all around you. You know, you can easily see just about everything, and everything is a nice distance away from you as well. So your gear lever and everything, it's in a great spot for shifting, and just such a comfortable car. These cars were really designed for just long open road cruises. And you know, you get this thing out on the freeway, that is where it loves to be, especially when you just start doing some high-speed pulls in it. That is exactly what this car was built for. Oh, Jesus. Man, I couldn't even look at the speedo while I was doing that just because, far out, this car is just so wicked. And it's quick, put it that way. Now let's get into the 5 questions. We always start off with sound. This thing with the exhaust. Good God, it sounds good. And that turbo flutter. Oh, that turbo flutter, I love it. Oh, I really do. These Barras, you know, some of them, to be honest, they don't sound nearly as good as a V8, but this particular one sounds bloody nice. And there is something about just having that blow-off flutter, you know, it's, gets me every time. Now, practicality, well, this thing is actually pretty damn practical considering it's a large 4-door sedan, plenty of room in this thing. The Barra is just so reliable as well. You know, these things, they're built off a taxi platform, so you get 1,000,000 Ks out of these cars. You know, they are just that good. You know, I'm not kidding. Now, the fuel consumption, these things do drink a bit of fuel, but from factory, it was about 12 liters per 100 Ks combined. This one, with all its little upgrades, the way the owner likes to drive it as well, you're probably looking at about 18, 19 liters per 100 K now, but we're having fun. So, you know, you drive a performance car like this, your fuel consumption should really be the last thing on your mind. Now, handling. Well, this thing, for a large car, you will be surprised how well these things actually handle. Now, yes, they are a large car. They can sometimes have a bit of a boat-like characteristic, but this one has got obviously upgraded suspension. So we got airbag suspension in the rear. We're running triple SL front suspension, and this thing actually handles itself pretty damn nicely. We've got the upgraded Brembo brakes as well on this particular model. So that was a factory upgrade you could have got. So we got 6-pot up the front, 4-pot at the rear. Stops this car up really nicely. You go around the corners, you know, to be honest, it's not a huge amount of body roll. Yes, it is a larger car, but for something of this size, it does surprisingly well. Now, price. Well, these cars from factory, you know, for what they are, they were a pretty good bargain. You know, they started at about $53,000. You know, if you had one that was up-spec'd, you know, top of the range kind of, you were looking at around the 60, 65 grand mark. And for what this car delivers, that is just an absolute value for money. You know, this thing will chop just about any kind of thing on the road. You know, when you're on the highway doing some serious pulls, drop a couple of grand into it. Seriously, there's not a lot that's going to keep up with this thing. And you're getting supercar speed nearly for under 6 figures. Now on the used market, there's a bit of fluctuation here. You know, premium examples with low Ks, you're still gonna pay nearly $60,000 for the top trim ones. But, you know, in between about the 30K mark is where you're kind of gonna get the bottom of the barrel. So a car with a little bit higher Ks, you know, it's being used a little bit, expect to pay around that $30,000 mark. And I gotta say, these cars are seriously still well and truly worth that money. They really are. And in the future, these are only gonna go up. They really are only gonna go up. And when you're just sitting at the lights here, you know, you forget how beastly this car actually is sometimes, because you're just very quiet here. There's no rattles. It's not jumping around or anything. Very comfortable car. These seats are so comfortable. And again, there's just so much room in this car. So practical. You got a huge boot, huge back seats, you know, plenty of room for the family if you had one. And the fact that it's just so practical, yet you want to give it the beans, this thing will just light it up. No worries. cars are just so Australian and some of the best ever made, period. Oh, I have just seriously forgotten how much I love these F6s. They are so good, so good. All right guys, so we got the owner gonna do the 0 to 100 time right now. Just, I think in these videos it'd be better if the owner does it, just he's more comfortable with the car. So this has launch control. This is actually his first time using it, so this is gonna be experience for both of us. And yeah, when you're ready, bro. Woo! Man, all over the place. Going again. Oh shit! 100! Oh wow, that is, yeah. I don't know what that time's gonna be, but it was a lot of fun getting there.
Wow.
Oh yes. Just gonna roll onto it from like 10 Ks now, to see if we get some traction finally. Good. There is just something so special about this car where it's not even about the figures it puts down on paper. It's just, you get in one of these, you drive it, and the feeling this car gives you, it's just so much raw power, and it really does feel like you are so totally connected to this car. Again, you know, when you have this 6-speed manual as well, the throttle response, changing your own gears here, just the turbo when the boost hits, there's just so many senses of this car, and there are not many cars still on the road, especially that are still this modern. You know, this thing is a 2009, and although it's getting of age lately, but it still feels just so good. There really is just not a lot that can compete with this thing. But anyways guys, I'm gonna finish the video off here today. So a massive thank you to the owner for allowing me to take out his FPV F6. I absolutely love these cars, and anytime I get a chance to show one off, I am just over the moon. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If so, please remember to hit that like button. Consider subscribing if you're new here, and we'll see you on that next video.